today we're going to be installing the Motopro Snug grips purchased off eBay onto the 2020 Benelli TRK. So we've got our stock grips already. We'll be removing these and replacing them with the heated grips. First and foremost, we will remove the seat, expose the battery, because we're going to be connecting these directly straight to the battery using the ring connectors. So having removed the pillion seat, removing the driver's seat, we've removed the two bolts here to release the driver's seat, and I'll expose our battery. Okay, so unboxing these, we've got two grips, one slightly larger for the throttle side. You'll see the difference when you come to install yours. Very slightly larger diameter there on the throttle side. We've got the control unit, and I went for these because the control unit is slightly more discreet than the Oxford hot grips. And you've got wiring loom there. So this one, it's got its own relay. Positive for the positive terminal, and for the negative terminal, that one's already got a ring connector on. For some reason we haven't got that on the live. And finally you get your grip glue and the bracket there for the control unit. Okay, so first of all with these, I'm just gonna, before we do anything, connect these up to the battery and check that everything's functioning correctly before we start removing any of the stock parts. Okay, so we've connected these up to the battery now. So I'm just going to put some power to the bike and switch these on. Okay, so there's our control unit. We've got some power to the bike, so we're just going to switch these on. As you can see, straight into high, working fine, and across to low, still working fine. Click them onto high, just make sure they heat up. So we'll give them a couple of minutes just to heat up, make sure they are functioning correctly before we go any further with the installation. Okay, now we've established they're heating up quite nicely, nice and toasty. We'll carry on with the installation. So next part of the installation, I'm just going to disconnect all of that again. I'm just ready to feed the wires through behind the fairings. We'll work out the best way to go with those shortly. Okay, so just planning where the control unit's going to go. This is our control unit bracket. Decided it's going to go on the left hand side because the right hand side has the front brake reservoir that obstructs the back of the clip. So they will be going on the left hand side of the bike handlebars. Okay, so the next part of the installation, we're going to be removing the grips, the stock grips. So to do this we need to use some Allen keys to remove the end bolt, and we're just going to loosen this bolt here just so this drops slightly to stay out of our way while we're removing the grips. Okay, so just going to loosen this off like so. Take that all the way off, and then we're going to be removing this spacer here so we can remove the grip. Okay, so we've removed that, disconnected that, we've removed the black spacer from there, so that leaves us now free to start prising the grip off. We didn't need to undo this small bolt in the end, we just tilt it slightly, move the mirror slightly, it's given enough space to work with. You see how easy these are to remove, they've not got a lot of adhesive on. Twisting them, they're slowly working their way off. They'll start coming off. As you can see, just twisting them off, slowly coming away from the handlebar. These have not got any adhesive on by the looks of it. And they're off. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you've got two different diameters. You've got the smaller one for your left hand side, and then your slightly larger diameter there for your throttle side. Just making sure we get these the correct way around during installation. Okay, so these new grips, as you can see, they go on very easily. They're going to need a lot of adhesive just to make sure they're well and truly secure, and make sure this wire here is in an appropriate place. It's not interfering at all with the movement on the clutch there. Okay, so these have come with their own tube of glue, so we're going to see how we get on with this. If not, I've got some stronger silicone type glue. So if this doesn't work, I'm not satisfied with how secure they are, we should try that. Okay, so repeating the process on this side, you find this grip is a lot more difficult to remove. You just got to be very careful you don't break any of the throttle mechanism. So we'll have a go at removing that now. Okay, so with your throttle side, as you can see, there's notches down the throttle here that have made this quite difficult to remove. So to remedy that, flathead screwdriver, slotting it between the grip and the plastic throttle casing, and just slowly prising it up and down until we pop it off these small notches here, and it's come off quite cleanly. Okay, on some other installation videos I've seen they've had to take a craft knife and cut these notches off because they impede the handlebar, the heated grip, slipping back on. As you can see, they protrude out a good few millimeters on each side of the bar. Let's try and get that to focus, which makes fitting the new heated grip close to impossible. So you're just going to take a craft knife blade now and just slice those back. Okay, I should be able to see what I've done with that one. It's literally just taking a Stanley knife blade and just taking the edge off them. Focus is quite poor here, sorry guys. There you go. If you want it across there, it's quite soft plastic, it's taken all them straight off. I'm going to do the same now on the underside here. As you can see, they protrude quite a lot. We'll take them straight off. So as you can see now, it's a huge difference. Just made that a lot more flush to be able to fit the new grip on. So we're going to offer up the new grip now and see how that fits. Okay, so some of these hot grips can be quite tight to fit on the throttle side, so a quick tip just to ease it on. I've taken the craft knife blade and just slightly tapered the edges of the end there with the blade, so that when you offer that up, it just starts it off quite nicely, enables you to get quite a nice tight fit on there. We'll take it right to the end here. We're going to just check this notch, make sure that it doesn't impede, because this is quite thick edge on the edge of the grip there. We just need to make sure we can get the spacer and the edge of the handguard fixed back on correctly. Okay, so one thing we found with these, this edge here is going to impede the ability to cleanly turn the throttle back. So I'm just going to remove this edge here so we can get this grip all the way up, the spacer on correctly at the end. Otherwise it's that much of a tight fit that you'll find the throttle becomes very stiff, and we don't want that. Okay guys, so now as you can see, we've removed that notch from there, so we're going to offer up the heated grip again. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to apply some adhesive to the grip there, just so once we've offered it up, it can be in its final fitment. Okay, so I've now refitted the spacers, everything's nice and tight as it should be, glue set nicely. We've just now got to look at where all our cables are going to fit. So with the throttle side, making sure that you've left yourself a nice bit of give there, because obviously when you turn the throttle, that cable's going to move. Make sure it doesn't impede with any of your levers, which it doesn't, that's already been checked. So I'm now going to mount the control unit and then look at where we're going to wire it. I would envisage taking the panels off this side, running the wiring down this side of the bike, down here to the battery terminals. Okay, so final part of the hot grips install. Mounted our control unit. fed all the wires down, a few cable ties to cut, all through there. All the connections at the back just need tidying up. To feed them through here, all I managed to do is just removing that bolt there next to the USB charger, this bolt and this bolt, and it allowed enough space to get behind there, run the cable through. Literally just cable tied it to the frame, connected it to the batteries, and as you can see, they're all fitted, ready to go. Hope this has been helpful.